But guys, let's move on. 11 through 20. If you're checking us out on YouTube, thank you. But make sure to follow us on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Most Podcast. Starting January 1st. That means our next mock draft on the 15th of February.
That's going to be great.
Will be live. So you guys could watch us record it live here in the studio. But we're only going to hit a few teams. If you want to see our full top 10, we did it. If you're on podcast services around the world, thank you guys for sticking with us. An hour and a half plus. Keep going. Yeah, that first one was an hour and a half.
Wow.
And per usual. But let's do 11 through 20. Sean, what's your 11 through 20?
I can't wait.
Like, get to me,
I can't
get to me,
wait
get to
for
me.
our 6-hour podcast where 40 hours, or for 40% of it, is Ricky plugging shit. Number 11, Blazers taking Jaden McDaniels out of Washington. We keep talking about them needing a power forward. They got one. Boom, Jaden McDaniels. 12, Pistons taking Theo Maledon, guard, currently playing overseas. I think he's in our favorite French league, the place that where Frank lived. It's not the NBL. It's what the New Zealand league, whatever league it is.
The Liga B or something.
FNB or something. Yeah, LNB.
I'm a look up.
But whatever. Theo Maledon going to the Pistons. They need a point guard. Then 13, Spurs taking Jordan Wara from Louisville. Guy that's just all around. Seems like a Spur.
LNB Pro A.
LNB Pro A. That's what
and then
it is.
EuroLeague now.
Yeah. And now that's the Euro guy. That's what I keep screwing up with him and Killian Hayes.
Yeah.
Then number 14, Thunder taking Isaiah Stewart, the forward out of Washington. They need a guy that can set picks, but also be a little bit more athletic. They got a lot of guards and athletic players already. They love those athletic players anyways.
They do.
15, T-Wolves. They're taking Ayo Dosunmu, guard from Illinois. I think I have him the highest, and I think I'm the only person even with him in our first round.
Shocking for me.
I think we'll talk about him in the third segment, so I won't get into him too much. But I do think the T-Wolves need a point guard. At 16, Suns taking Obi Toppin, forward out of Dayton. This guy is going to be a riser. Sorry, Suns fans, but he's a guy that you will hope to have. Very good forward out of Dayton. 17, Magic taking Josh Green, guard out of Arizona. And 18, the Jazz taking Trey Jones, guard out of Duke. Then at number 19, Hawks taking Scotty Lewis, guard out of Florida. And then at 20, Bucks via the Pacers taking Tyrese Halliburton, guard out of Iowa State.
And before we get into Dave, the one thing, this is me producing on the fly, because I didn't set you up for this, Sean. Since you go first, if I have any protections in there, just list them off. Like for the Thunder, it's 1 through 20 protected. And then the Jazz, they have it because it's 15 through 30 protected.
And then the Hawks got that 19th pick via the Nets from the Allen Crabbe trade.
Good old Crab.
Dave, 11 through 20.
Sure. Allen Crabbe died for our Kyrie and KD sins.
Worth. Number 11, I've got the Blazers taking Jordan Wara. I just want to drop. Yeah,
it's Wara.
Jordan Wara. Number 12, I've got the Pistons going Tyrese Halliburton. At 13, I've got the Spurs taking Landers Nolly. At 14,
no, you say that full name.
The second.
Landers Nolly the second. That's a made-up name.
I love that name. That was, by the way, Ricky, that was the one I kept teasing you with. I'm not going to tell you who it is.
Is that made up?
No. He's a real dude. He's a real dude.
The name's just made up.
It's hilarious.
You can't say made up and Dave.
It's just Nolly.
I know it's okay.
I just think that the guy with the last name of Nolly is fantastic. Landers Nolly. It's great. 14, I've got the Thunder going Theo Maledon. At 15, I got the T-Wolves taking Tyrese Maxey. 16, the Suns again taking Obi Toppin, similar to Sean. At 17, I've got the Magic taking Josh Green. At 18, I've got the Jazz going Precious Achiuwa. At 19, I've got the Hawks taking Trey Jones. And at 20, I've got the Bucks taking Tyler Bay.
And then my 11 through 20. 11, the Blazers go with Jaden McDaniels, forward out of Washington. Pistons at 12 go Tyrese Halliburton, guard out of ISU. Spurs at 13 go Cassius Stanley, guard. I just say Cassius, I want to say Winston.
Understood.
Cassius Stanley, guard out of Duke. Thunder go with Obi Toppin, forward from Dayton. T-Wolves, Theo Maledon, the guard from France. Then the Suns go with Isaiah Stewart, forward from Washington. The Magic go with Dave's boy, Jordan Wara, forward from Louisville. The Jazz go with Jalen Smith, forward from Maryland. Scotty Lewis going to the Hawks via the Nets at number 19. And then Killian Hayes, the guard, finishing out going to the Bucks via the Pacers. Let's start with a team, talking about international, a team that usually we peg international players to go to. They took one last year in Luka Samanic. What are your guys
Samanic?
Samanic. Samanic, I'm probably saying
Sandwich, whatever you want to call him. Luka Sandwich.
Luka.
The bad Luka. The worst Luka.
Not that Luka.
Mine
That was
was
the
the
name
It was
last
not
year.
that Luka.
Lesser Luka. They took
Hashtag
lesser
on the court.
Luka. What are your guys' thoughts with the Spurs? Because we all have different picks. You have Wara, I have Stanley. Dave went with Nale.
Yeah, I think, Dave, you probably would have had Warwick going if you just didn't have him going higher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean...
I would want a wing. You need a true wing.
You need a wing. Wara isn't athletic, but he isn't not athletic. He isn't quick, but he's very calm. And I don't know if you saw this too watching his tape, but I got a huge vibe of one player, and he is a former Spur.
Oh.
He's a little bit leaner than this guy, so I think he is a leaner Boris Diaw.
Oh.
Did you get that feel?
I did not.
Okay,
That's a different read.
because he seems like he can pass well, like Boris Diaw was. Boris Diaw was kind of like a point guard at some points. Like he was a very good passing forward.
He was.
He's got a bigger body. He's got a good shot. He's a good rebounder, but he's not like a big. But he is kind of a weird guard forward combo center mix, and I think that he could be used very well in a Spurs offense. And I think that he could play the 4, he could play the 3, he could play he could play up to his size, and he could play down to his size. So I think he's a guy that really is very fluid. I think he's a guy that teams would want on their teams. I think they're just going to be scared off by his age. But I did get some Boris Diaw vibes from Jordan Wara.
That's kind of awesome. I dig that. I think that the big thing about him that I love is his all-around game. He's so versatile. You mentioned it. He can play anywhere on the court, and he does it well. And this year we've seen him take over as a primary scorer for this Louisville team. He looks good, and he looks confident. He's shooting well from the outside, 46% on 5.6 attempts a game. Again, small sample size. That'll change over the year, but he's great at rebounding. And one of the big things about him, like you said, is how he can run the offense. He's not necessarily the best passer out there. He's not usually the guy who's setting up the assist, but he's getting kind of hockey pass assists in, and that's the thing you like to see. He's not stopping the offense at all. He does what Louisville needs him to do, and I think that's the best thing. As you've watched him evolve year over year in college, building his game. I kind of mentioned him when we were doing our way too early. I'm like, there's this guy I'm thinking about putting in there, but he's an older player.
Also, his monster dunk against Miami earlier in the year was just phenomenal.
That was pretty cool, too. I love the pick, and Sean, you're exactly right. I would have had him going to the Spurs. Instead, I went with Landers Nolly, a guy who's playing out of Virginia Tech, who is playing really well. I love his offensive skill set. He, to me, is got a good combination of size and athleticism. I like the way he can move with the ball in his hands. The big thing for him is the turnovers. He absolutely got punished for it, but you know what? And by punished for it, let me pull up the game, because I think he had like 8 turnovers, 9 turnovers. It was the Duke game. It was his most recent game. That's why it's so fresh in my head. He got punished in that Duke game, had 9 turnovers. But he is skilled, and he redshirted his freshman year, so he's an older freshman.
Yeah. Usually you don't hear that in basketball.
Yeah.
Red shirt. Unless it's like an injury.
Yeah,
like
and you look at the free throw percentage and the shit ton of threes.
Yes.
Like, that's something that's great, because he's a great free throw shooter, and he's taking a shit ton of threes, but he's making them. So I think he seems like a deadly shooter. And I really didn't see any guys that were standing out to me in this draft that were great shooters.
Yeah.
And he does seem to be a great shooter out there, and that's what the Spurs need. But also, they don't shoot threes.
Well, they don't shoot threes unless you're really good at it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He's a perfect fit in my mind. But you can't keep dragging out the corpse of Rudy Gay.
Fucking Rudy Gay, man. Shit.
I love that.
The best
I love
is
Rudy Gay.
The best is the shit part.
It's that realization. I love Rudy Gay, but you have to find a suitable 3 replacement. DeMar DeRozan has been their de facto 3 for way too long. The backcourt's loaded on young talent, and they're finally moving forward with that. But I see Landers Nolly as a perfect fit in the Spurs offense moving forward.
Yeah, and Ricky too. You came out of left field with this. None of us had this guy in our first 30, and you have him at 13. Talk about Cassius Stanley here.
With me, the whole thing is I looked at my ranking of 2 guards, and he was the highest one. And the thing that I think is going to be interesting for the Spurs moving forward, I know we didn't talk about it on the fast break this week, saw the kind of notice about it last week after we recorded. There's a possibility that this team moves on from DeMar DeRozan. This team moves on from LaMarcus Aldridge. And if they move on from DeMar DeRozan, which I think they'll move on from first if they have to move on from either of them.
His contract's up too.
That means, well, he's got a player op.
Yeah.
So he's going to probably take the player op. I don't know if he's going to get more than the 27.7.
He could get a long-term
million.
guaranteed. That's the only thing.
True.
Because this week class,
True.
It's about 50-50 right now.
So I'm assuming he takes the option.
Yeah.
That's why
Or if
there's
he gets
that.
traded, which has been rumored for a long time.
That's what I'm thinking, though. He gets traded.
Yeah.
He's gone. Bellinelli and Forbes all are then gone. Your only two guard then is Lonnie Walker, who, although Dave wants him to play well, really every time Dave asks me, how's Lonnie Walker doing? And I read him his box score from the game, Dave goes, oh,
it was one game.
No, I know. But there's been
He had
others,
a great
too.
game.
There have been
you're
others,
talking
too,
about the
where
game where
you
he popped
asked me.
off?
No, but there's been other games, too, where you ask me, and it's just like, oh, okay, he's not playing well. And it's like the consistency ain't there with Lonnie Walker. To where if that's the case, what do you do? Because the thing with the three guard you got to think about, they also have Keldon Johnson, who's right now is in the G League that they drafted last year. What's their plan with him? Is he going to be an NBA roster guy end of this year or next year? Like, I don't know what the plan is with him.
You got Derek White, you got Patty Mills, you got DeJounte Murray, you got Lonnie Walker, and potentially Bryn Forbes could come back on a friendly deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just see it as crowded right now. But yeah, if they move on from a couple guys, there's absolutely a chance.
They don't have a wing. That's what it comes down to me. I mean, I don't care what wing you take a wing. It's kind of like with the Cavs. Stop taking guards.
Yeah,
that's all it is. So I mean, I don't dislike Cassius Stanley. I don't love him as a player, and I don't know if I love him for the Spurs.
Another team that could be making moves, we've kind of thrown out left and right, but it could affect their draft. What are your guys' thoughts on the Magic? Aaron Gordon have been in trade rumors. Vusi Mang has also been in trade rumors. With me, I just took best available, Jordan Nwora.
I think they're going to be keeping Vusi. I think Gordon's a name to watch, but that's mainly because Jonathan Isaac has become much better than Aaron Gordon. I mean, this guy is a defensive stud. You have Vucevic, who is already a great center. I think it's possible that you slide just Isaac to the 4. You have Vusi there, and then you're looking at the 3 spot opening up. You know, Fournier, I think contract is expiring.
Yeah.
Or he's still in trade rumors as well. But I think Markelle Fultz has played himself to be their starting point guard of the future. So it's really just trying to figure out the 2 and the 3 spot for them. And I think that I kind of went with you. I went best player available. I went Josh Green. You talked about him a little bit in the first half, but you know, a good rebounding guard. I think he does have the ability to become a good shooter. So I think he just fits in right perfectly with the Magic.
We agree podcast on that. I love the pick. Evan Fournier does have a player op next year for $17 million. May take it, may not. Right now he's playing out of his mind. So he may be thinking payday. You know? It'd be interesting to see what they do there. But yeah, I love...
But also he's playing out of his mind right now. And we know the player that Fournier has been.
This is December. He's always been a pretty good shooter.
He's always been a good shooter, but...
Yeah. I got you. I think that Josh Green, again, you talked about him in the first segment, amazingly defensively. You know, he's got the defensive potential.
Well, I was
going to
say, could you imagine him and Isaac next to each other?
Isaac, all three of
all
those
that
guys.
defense.
Yeah, I mean, Isaac's first team all defense and potentially, you know, in the running for defensive player of the year. Probably won't get it, but it's still, he'll be like top 5. I love the thought of adding in someone like Josh Green, who's a great complementary piece. You were talking about does this class have a Klay Thompson as person?
Yeah.
I think Josh Green could be that guy. It'll take a little more time to see as Arizona progresses this year, but he's shown me a lot, and I like the way that he fits in that team. So if I put him on the Magic, can he space the floor? Can he play off ball and look good? I think he can do everything you asked for.
And I said become a good shooter, and that's just mainly because it's such an early span that it's only 8 games. But I mean, so far peripherals look good, 81% from the line and 37% from 3. So I wouldn't be shocked if he's able to extend that a little bit.
Yep.
And then the last thing I did want to hit in this segment has to do. You had him go to the Spurs. I just had him go to the Magic. Is Jordan Nwora, and I don't want to sound like a lazy, not comp, but a comparison, because they both came from the same school. But I was thinking today before coming to the podcast, is he going to, and this will lead into the last thing of a guy that's going to rise from 11 through 20, possibly into the top 10?
Yeah.
Could Jordan Nwora be that Donovan Mitchell type of player that we had in our mocks, where it's like towards the end it was like Don Mitch just rose, and rose.
Yeah.
And he just saw an accelerated growth.
Here's where he cannot be, because Donovan Mitchell was rising throughout our draft, and now Wara's starting at 11 at the highest, and that's where Donovan Mitchell went. We weren't high on Donovan Mitchell at the start of the year. We didn't have Donovan Mitchell in our mock draft.
Well, I mean, does that mean his rise? Do we see Wara be a top 10 draftee?
But I'm saying at least the rise like Mitchell.
Yeah.
I don't want to compare the two because
there's less
Donovan
growth.
Mitchell wasn't on the radar.
Yeah.
And he was a sophomore where Wara had a great sophomore year and then is having a great junior year right now. So I think the rises are different. I think it'd be unfair to compare what Donovan Mitchell put in from his freshman to sophomore year. I think that is a spectacular job from Donovan Mitchell, and we were all wrong on him. I didn't think he was going to be worth a first-round pick. Oops. Yep. It was a great job for Donovan Mitchell working his ass off to get to that spot. It was a great job for the Jazz to realize that as well. It was a stupid job by the Pistons to trade him away. I think that Wara is put himself in a position to be a top 15 pick where Mitchell had to work himself in there. Wara can only rise from this. Or Wara can rise or fall from this, where Mitchell was just a meteoric rise. Yep. He just shot up there. So I don't think he's going to be a riser like Donovan Mitchell. I do think, though, that he is going to be a guy that, older player like Donovan Mitchell was, from the same school, guy that works his ass off and got himself into a spot to be a lottery pick.
And you meant poo-poo on you because I had him at 10, Don Mitch, in our mock.
And he went 11. So
yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. You said you didn't have him in the first round. I did have him in the first round. Had him at number 10.
No,
in which mock?
No, I said to start the mock.
I would say to start.
Okay.
So look at 1.0. 1.0, he wasn't in anywhere.
That's what we're saying.
Okay, because I know in the 5.0 I had him at 10.
Yeah,
I always kind of keep
the
that
1.0.
That's
what we're counting on.
No,
right
I'm talking about where were they at the start? Right
we
now
didn't
at the
keep
start.
our 1.0 for 2017.
We didn't?
No, we
That's
only
on
kept the 5.0.
It's on you.
Anyway.
That was before. Oh wait, no, is this one it? No, that was when we split them up into like 3 different sheets for 1 through 10, 11 through 20, and 21 through 30.
Gotcha.
So we only got the 5.0.
Unfortunate. I don't know. He's a good player. I think he's capped out outside of 10 just because he's an older player. I don't know yet, unless a team gets in there and they're really hungry for a wing who can perform today. I don't know. There's a small chance, but he doesn't. The thing that kills me is like if he had the ability to facilitate at a higher level, then yes. But right now he's a scorer, he's a rebounder, and he can keep the ball moving, but he doesn't have that eye for getting the ball to the open guy to set up that shot. So I think that it's going to take too much growth for him to jump into that top 10 right now as a 3-year college player.
Oh, I got it right here. This is when we color-coded every college, and it's ugly as hell.
Oh, that hurts my eyes to look
None
at.
of us had them in the 1 through 10. I did. Oh, look who had him, 21 through 30.
Okay, you
Boom.
win.
27.
Win.
Ricky, you had him at 24 going to Utah, and so did Dave in the 1.0. So I was wrong.
So we were right on the team.
I was doing pretty good then.
It was
Both
me
of you and Dave were. You and Ricky had them the same thing.
To Utah.
So there you go.
Where he ended up going.
There we go.
24. So I was wrong. Both with Donovan Mitchell, and then also
Still a decent rise,
with not having him
from a late
in the first round
to a to 11.
Yeah.
10 spot jump.
So he was our riser.
Then who is the guy in this? Is it just Obi Toppin?
I'm gonna yell Obi Toppin like 8 times in a row.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's Nora. I mean, I wouldn't want to put him out of it. I mean, right now he's 11 for you, so I wouldn't be shocked if Wara went into the top 10. But if we're talking guys that we haven't talked about, Obi Toppin.
Yeah. I mean, his offensive skill, his growth. Hey, let's just start with growth because he's an interesting story.
Plus, we've already seen him go up against a top 3 candidate in Anthony Edwards so far this season.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's fantastic. And he's played, again, Georgia, Virginia Tech, Kansas, legitimate teams and he's had great games against all of them. And that's the thing. He's got a great skill set, offensively gifted. He's a good rebounder, a good knack for that. And I love how much he's progressed his game. I think he's going to continue to add that 3-point shot consistency. He's taking a couple a game now. He's building that confidence. He's shooting 42%, which early season, I'm not even 9 of 21, sure. But I think that as the year goes on, confidence will keep going, and I'm hoping he's taking 5 attempts a game. 3 attempts is solid, but I'm just saying he'll get up there. Free throws, solid. Everything about him screams a riser to me. Like I put him there, and I was going, I think the Kings should take him over Denny. Like that's one of those situations where I'm like, I could see him go there if Denny keeps falling. Kings would give a perfect fit.
And with that too, I found him. I was trying to find who's my Naz Reid. right? So I looked up guys that were shooting 50% from the field, that were taking more than 3 shots a game from outside beyond the arc from 3 at over 40%, and we're grabbing boards. Yeah. He's my Naz Reid. Like,
but
if
he actually
we're
has
giving
talent.
Oh, be careful, Sean. Dave don't like when you touch him.
I don't like
He
when every
deserves
other
it.
word is this.
he deserves it. Naz Reid's a god, and he will be in the NBA. He's killing the G League right now.
You know who else killed the G League?
He is the Nick Nurse of players.
Gafford.
No, I'm Bulls player who's now playing in China.
China.
A certain guard.
Was it Pooh?
No.
Are you talking about Pooh?
No, I literally can't remember his name. That's why I was asking you.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
China guard.
China.
China.
He got serious. I'm literally gonna have to Google.
Did he get minutes with us?
Yes,
you
he
don't
did.
give us enough. You can't just say
It wasn't
Bulls
Shaq
guard in
Harrison.
China.
No.
Shaq Harrison's on your team.
No,
you watch every
I'm
game,
thinking,
Ricky.
like,
Why are you throwing out players that you
Antonio
know it's
Blakeney.
not?
oh, Blakeney, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Killed the G League.
Yeah, and
I think he scored 30 points a
and
game.
Naz Reid's 19, and Antonio Blakeney was like 27.
I'm just saying.
Is he 27?
No, he's not. But that's okay.
Okay.
He was born in '96.
All right. So he's a year older than Sean?
Yeah, he's 23.
Okay.
So he's 22 last year. Killing the G League, putting up like 30 points a game. So no, G League success doesn't translate always.
It doesn't translate always, but it will for Naz Reid because he's the best player in the league.
Pass.
Better than LeBron.
With mine, I'm going to go different route. You guys went front court. I'm going to go back court.
Sure.
I'm going to go with Tyrese. Is it Halliburton? Halliburton from Iowa State. And with this one, it's not just because I think he's a good player. It's also because of the guard necessity. If there's a team later on in the top 10 that's like, fuck, we could use a point guard, he could rise up into top 10. Yeah. Because if the Bulls, like originally how I had it laid out on Thursday, the Bulls were like at 9.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, he would be the point guard that we need because he doesn't have to worry about scoring. Zach and Kobe got that down.
Yep.
And he can just facilitate them and be the facilitator that we all hope to be. But then when they come to our team, they're never like that. Any final things that you think?
Yeah, Naz Reid was recalled from the G League and will be making his NBA debut soon.
Nice. Cool.
So I just want to say that he will be dominating
He's on
the
the
league.
T-Wolves, right?
Yes, he's
okay.
going to be on the T-Wolves,
That's
and
right.
he's going to be better than Karl Anthony Towns, and they're going to max him.
That's another thing I was talking to Soapy about, how like with Sekou, for some reason I think he's on the Wizards when he's not because of how many times we mocked him to the Wizards that it's like, oh, ours was right. The real one didn't happen. But
for me, the other one would have been
ahead.
Maxey.
Okay.
But Sean had him so high, so I mean, that's he's got a great chance. He's such an explosive player.
Sean has already proclaimed.
I guess, too, like, a guy that could rise from this section. So we talked Wara, Toppin, and you threw in... Who would you throw in as well?
Halliburton.
I think, just the fringe guys too, like Jaden and Theo, those guys can rise in.
Yeah, because, we've had him in before. But let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What are some teams, some picks that you're looking at here?